everyone! In this video, we will talk about the mind behind Narnia and the facts of its author, Clive Staples Lewis. The Chronicles of Narnia have been one of the greatest novels in the children's literature. We were stunned by its heavy symbolism into Christianity, and we were perplexed about how a wardrobe can lead into a magical world. However, do we know enough about its author, Clive Staples Lewis? Here are some facts that you don't know about the mind behind Narnia. The first fact is the inspiration behind Narnia. On the 19th of November 1898, Clive Staples Lewis was born in Belfast, Ireland. He and his brother spent part of their childhood in Northern Ireland, creating an imaginative world. They would spend their holidays in some of the ruined castles. It was said that Darius was the model of Cair Paravel of his novels, The Chronicles of Narnia.
Second fact is that Lewis was not a great poet.
He was immensely good at writing prose. His narratives are electrifyingly good, however, poetry was not definitely his cup of tea. Lewis published a narrative poem entitled Diner in 1926, and he wrote it for almost a decade, but it was such a flop. The third fact is his mother died on 1908. He was only 9. His mother died from cancer. Soon after his mother's death, he was then sent to a boarding school in England. It was one of the loneliest times of his life. He hated boarding school. He felt alone, isolated, and full of grief. From atheist to Christian. After boarding school, he was sent under a tutor named Kirkpatrick. Years later, a conversation of Tolkien and Dyson about mythologies led him to question his atheist ideology. With some realization, he was converted to Christianity, and he became one of the most influential Christian apologists of his time. Poetry was not only his weakness. He is also terrible at sports. He could not catch a ball or wield a bat. He blamed it on his thumb. He had this weird thumb that has no joint. It was said that he was inherited it from his father. The fifth fact is that he failed his driving tests 17 times. Well, this has no explanation. Yes, indeed, he failed his driving test not once, not twice, but 17 times. The sixth fact is that during World War I, Lewis volunteered for active service. He agreed with his friend Paddy Moore that if one of them did not come back, he would care for the parents of the other. Unfortunately, Paddy did not make it, but Lewis did. For more than 30 years, Lewis and Mrs. Moore, Paddy's mother, lived together. They lived together until Mrs. Moore died in 1951. Their relationship was a bit controversial, whether the relationship is motherly, romantic, or abusive. Well, I leave it for you to uncover.
And now, let's move forward to the seventh facts, which is the greatest broadcaster of the war. During World War II, where the world is very chaotic and full of madness, BBC asked Lewis to do broadcast talks where he talks about the Christian religion. Due to his incredible wartime talks, he was regarded as the greatest broadcaster of the war. Next to that is a great lecturer and author. Lewis published a version of his wartime talks entitled Modern Christianity. It is one of his prominent books. Furthermore, in 1942, the publication of Screwtape Letters made him a celebrity in America. He was basically internationally famous. He was also a popular lecturer in Oxford. He was so popular that they found it quite hard to get lecture halls enormous enough to accommodate his audience. Lewis also taught medieval and Renaissance literature at the University of Cambridge. The next fact is all about Joy David Mann, an incredibly intelligent woman and American writer. Joy David Mann and Lewis became good friends. To make a long story short, she had 2 sons and was in love with Lewis. She wanted to stay longer in England, but the Foreign Office said that they are not going to renew her visitor's visa. So, with all his kindness, Lewis agreed to have a civil marriage. But it was not a marriage of love. After some years, Joy was diagnosed with terminal cancer. In his letters, he wrote, "We soon learn to love what we know we must lose." So, he asked her to marry him again, but this time, with a Christian ceremony and with love. After some 1960, Joy died with her loving husband by her side. And now, we have the last fact, which is Lewis' funeral attended by almost nobody. In 1963, Lewis died from prostate cancer, despite his prominence. Only a few people attended his funeral. His alcoholic brother, Warren, forgot to tell people the time of the burial, and all of the newspapers were drawn by the news of President Kennedy's assassination and Aldous Huxley's. Hence, his burial turned out to be a secret. But wait, there's more. We have a bonus fact. C.S. Lewis was fascinated with medieval ages, theology, and literature. And last bonus fact is C.S. Lewis' nickname is Jack.